Know that that particular elements list is something you need to print out or save and keep with you because it's going to be stringently graded on all forthcoming assignments. Those are the non-negotiables, if you will. Those are things you cannot do to pass an assignment. Make sure you take note of that, but also, take an inventory of your own writing style in comparison to these published studies and sample lit reviews, and kind of ask yourself, what do I need to work on? I'm also going to help you with that. Your diagnostic writing packet's going to help with that, but it's a good idea to start kind of investigating that independently. Aside from sample lit reviews, we also have a sample literature review topics document here. What I've done is tried to help everyone out, and I've combined some theses at the stage that they're usually at this point in the semester. And so I'm going to help with this. So what you'll notice is that these are insanely specific. They have a lot of detail. They're very academically and robustly worded. They're at a dynamic stage. I'll say dynamic a lot at this point because things are not finalized until after you get into the weeds with your research and background research. What you'll see here is that these are all in full sentence format, subject, verb. They're in complex sentence format, and they have to be to encapsulate all the elements of your topic at the level and specificity that should be for graduate research. So one distinction I want to point out, just so as to not confuse you, is that you'll see two different things with regards to your topic. We refer to it as your research domain. Think of that as a broad topic, kind of the general area of your research interest in professional sport. Then once you narrow that down, you will have a topical format, and then you will have your thesis format. So your topical format is what will go on your cover page. It's the on the books record, the official record title of your research. It's what you would submit for publication, for instance. Or if you were submitting something to a conference, it's the title of the work. The thesis is full sentence format. So it's literally just taking that topical format and turning it into a full sentence because it will go into the body of your written work. It usually occurs right at your introduction or in your introductory section of your lit review. The cool thing about this is if you do this correctly, and I'll help with this, but once you get your topical format, all you have to do is put that in a full sentence format, and then bam, you have your thesis. Most of you are probably aware, but if your thesis is not at this level of specificity, and if it's not this defined, your research will suffer. This is the most important sentence in your entire document. All of your work, your arguments, your claims, your data you present is hinged based on how you formulate your thesis. We will handle this in our collaboration sessions when we work together, but I want you to set eyes on a few of some samples from semesters past. So you'll see that they're very academically robust. You're going to see a lot of academic language and language that you see in the actual studies. What are some of the jargon terms? What are some of the very specific terms that academics, scholars, practitioners in the field are using in the research? You want to extract those and use those because you're also going to be part of that research conversation as you engage in your own research. You'll notice that they're also very complex sentence structures. So these theses tend to be very complex because they have to encapsulate all of the elements of your research, not only the general topic, but these blanks you see here are what we refer to as threads or variables. What are the three primary elements, areas, things you're observing with regards to that topic? So you'll define that as you go on. If you're working on this now, kudos to you. I would try to plan your topic out something similar to this, where you have these three blanks, or you have at least three primary elements that you're going to be exploring, observing that has not been explored before with regards to your topic, or at least in a slightly different way. Again, you have ownership to mold this, but it has to be something that has not been done before. You have to enter into a new conversation or move the needle into a different direction or area than has been in the past. Just wanted you all to look at some of these topics. They all have the three blanks, very common. You can operate this way with your own topic. Just plan to have three primary areas or elements, and then as you engage in the research, as you will this week, you'll start to see some threads, or you'll start to see some common elements of variables of your topic that you might want to hone in on with regards to your topic. Just know what we're going to do moving forward is we're going to develop a thesis statement like this for you. your topic for your paper itself, and then that's going to guide the rest of your research. This can change, but once we get to a certain point in the semester, when we get to the critical analysis point, you will have to have this locked in. You will submit your final thesis and topic format for my approval, and then you will use that for everything the rest of the semester. So eyes on the sample topics, sample theses statements here, and eyes on the sample lit reviews and published studies. Moving down, I'm not going to spend much time on this. When you get your research packet, just look at it. It'll be multiple pages, multiple documents. Do not be overwhelmed by the amount of comments that you see. My goal is to provide suggestions, to point out everything I see in your writing so that you have a tangible guide or how-to document for how to improve your writing style. It will be unique to you. Everyone writes in a different way. So just make sure that you take note of that, and you, again, put this in your binder or wherever you're saving your documents. I provided 2 other videos here, introductions to Lit Review, one from University of Houston and one from NCSU. These are good overviews of just what Lit Reviews look like. And as you're looking at sample Lit Reviews and published studies, these videos will help you understand somewhat how they're organized, the order of the ideas that are presented, etc. So those are quick videos. Moving on to the assignments, so there will be a quiz, as I mentioned, based on the reading. Because it is that important, it will be weighted as 4 weekly daily research writing assignments. It's due Sunday, 9/17 by 11:59 Eastern. There were some issues with Respondus on the last quiz. Just know that Respondus and Web Monitor are required. You don't have to do anything extra other than access the quiz. If you don't have it downloaded on your device, it will prompt a download. If you're having issues, make sure your operating system is updated. Make sure your browser is updated. Make sure you've restarted your computer. The point of Respondus is to monitor you while you take the quiz, but to also lock you into the browser with no other software running. So if you have any chats running, if you have Microsoft Teams, certain firewall softwares, anything extra, you have to close out before you do this, or it won't launch or it won't download. So again, if you have issues, reach out to me. Do this early. Don't wait until an hour before the quiz is due to try to seek technical help. Again, syllabus policy is that technology issues are not defensible for late work. So just make sure that you do what you got to do. Bulldog Central's there to help. I'm there to help with what I can, but just know that that's a part of that quiz. The other assignment due at the same time is the critical analysis of your chosen research topic or domain, research questions, and research citations. Simply put, I try to put everything in as much detail as I can in writing, but I'm going to break this down in 1 to 2 minutes. What you're doing is putting your document in proper APA format. If you don't know how to do that, go back to the first few modules. There's a video where I walk you through exactly how to do that. At this level, your document is either fully in style or in format, or it's not. So that means that your page numbers, it means your spacing of your sentences and your paragraphs, they all have to be programmed a certain way. If they're not, the document is not in the right format. In fact, if you miss just one element of that, your document's not in the right format. It can make the difference in publishing your research or not, because you're not adhering to the style guide that's required. So it's important to keep that in mind. What you're doing is, in this 3-page assignment, you'll have a cover page, and then your second page, which is actually your content page, you're just going to list your research questions. It can be a simple list. I don't care if it's a bulleted list or just line by line. You're going to list the open-ended questions, formulating your own research questions. What is it that I want to know? What do I need to understand or investigate or uncover about my research topic in professional sports so that I can move this process forward? So really, this is the essence of background research. The reading will touch on formulating research questions, but just know that they're open-ended. They're questions that's designed to guide you through pulling as much literature as you can to answer what you need to know to move forward. So that second page will be a list of those research questions. The third page will be a list of the sources that you found in pursuit of answering those questions. It's okay if one question has several different sources, and in fact, that's encouraged. So it won't be just, here's my research question, here is a source that I found. It should be, here is a research question, and here is a host of literature-based sources that I found that could answer this question. You want to find as much as you can. That's the point. So I've got all the details here. Just make sure to follow those details and try to keep your reference citations in the correct format. We will get in the weeds with APA later, but just know you should have your APA style manual right now, and you should be able to look up what source you're working with. Is it a journal? Is it a website? Is it what is the source type? Look it up in the manual and then put it in the correct reference citation in the right order with all the elements. I know most of you all are probably familiar with Purdue OWL. You can use that as a good reference. It's a good basic reference, but we'll need more later when we get more detailed. Know that the electronic or online citation generators, even the ones you find in academic databases and on the library, do not work. So, for instance, when you find a source and you click, I need the APA reference citation for this source, what it spits out will not be the correct citation. You have to manually do this. That's why you have to have the style guide. Keep in mind these online generators, even, the stuff like I mentioned on the library, that is a computer programmed widget or applet on that web page. It's going to spit out, there's a certain order programmed into how that information is extracted. And a lot of times it includes erroneous elements such as vertical lines, different punctuation that does not belong. These things have to be exact based on the style guide. So never use those. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to reach out to me. Aside from that, those are the only two assignments that we have going on in this module. A lot of review, a lot of reading, kind of preparing for where we go from here. If you feel slightly overwhelmed, it's okay. Make sure you reach out to me if you have questions, however. We will meet for our collaboration session, and at that point, you will have had your assignments returned to you. You will have your writing and research skill assessed by me. I will have reviewed your initial research interest, your citations, your research questions. We'll tie all of this together in our collaboration session, and then we'll correct what needs to be corrected, and then we will formulate and generate a plan for how to proceed from here. And so in the scheme of things, this is the background research stage, formulating research questions, conducting background research. There are some research items that can help you in the module section of our website. If you look down to not only the support videos, these are always here, but also the worksheets. So if you need some help kind of tailoring your keywords, what you're inputting to generate more literature sources or sources in general, you can use this sheet here and it'll show you, you can actually document your keywords that you're using. So, you have a certain keyword here. What are some synonyms of that keyword that you may be able to put in the search bars or in the academic databases that will then generate you more sources that you can work with? You have to be very careful with your wording. Again, this is more of an undergrad type of document, but it's here if you need it. I find it's very helpful to document your keywords and your synonyms, because it's going to, if you say, for instance, get to a stopping point, you need to, re-engage, pick up where you left off, you can see what keywords you searched and what point you were at. So that's a good, helpful document. Long story short, we will take all this information to date and I will help you with it. And then the next major assignment, or the first and next major assignment coming up, is the critical analysis, which is going to be your first written research document of your research domain and what you found to date. We will then take that and transition it and mold it into a literature review, which is the final assignment. Both of those two assignments are the bulk of the course grade. So it's very important you start planning for this very early on. Know that I am your primary resource, but we have reference librarians at Ethel K. Smith Library. We have the Writing Center with the director, who is an English and a research faculty member who can help you kind of engage in this. Just know you will have resources. If you're overwhelmed, just do the best you can until we meet for our session, and then we'll come up with a plan for you. All right. I look forward to finishing the review of your assignments. I hope you all enjoy your weekend. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions.